So hello, Jolene. How are we doing today?
Hey, Callie, I'm good. I have a bit of a headache, but I kind of know the cure.
What is that? What is the cure?
The cure is our guest this week. I'm telling you, Janelle is an artist. She's a teacher. She's a student. She's amazing. And she has spent most of her career helping people deal with pain through Pilates. So she is so wonderful. And she's going to be helping me today. That's for sure.
That is so true. And you know what? If only a conversation could cure a headache, we would be bajillionaires.
Oh, absolutely. We would also be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Let's get going.
Yeah, let's just dive right in. Hi there, villagers. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jolene. And this is the Success Through Community podcast,
where we believe that solopreneur success really does take a village.
I see it really as the lifeline.
It's been essential in getting my business to where it is today.
We're talking with women just like you who know that the secret to their success is their community.
Have you found your village yet?
Hello. Hi, Janelle. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. So excited to have you on the show today. Ooh, I like saying that, on the show. We're so fancy. So yeah, we got you coming in. I know a little bit about you and your business. We met a few years ago online, and I just love watching you online. I'm such a creeper. It's so great. But let's tell everybody else. Tell us a little bit about you and what sparked your idea to start your business.
Well, hello everyone. I am Janelle Cruz, and I'm originally from Guam. I'm presently teaching Pilates out here in LA. I moved here originally to pursue my dance career, as Kelly knows, and I dabbled in musicals and things with her as well. Singing.
I did not know
that. Yeah. So I try to do the triple threat thing, but I believe it was sometime in 2000, I want to say 16 or something like that. There was a injury I had on my back in Florida that I was at a dance show, and we were dancing for all these old people homes. But anyway, it was a very excruciating time because I was still dancing on stage in pain. I would go on stage, I would come off, and I'd roll my back and go back on. So I don't want ever to feel that kind of pain again. And so Pilates is kind of what got me back, obviously, with rehab. But I was like, well, I'm going to be doing this movement forever. So I might as well become a teacher. And so I did. And so, yeah, that kind of sparked the journey of, okay, I'm going to be teaching movement, and I want everyone to feel better in their bodies for the long haul, So that was when I started getting more out there, putting myself out there online, especially through COVID. And I started my mindful movement group, which is kind of in limbo at the moment, but I'm out there. I'm still online somewhere. So yeah, that's kind of how that all started. And I just want everyone to feel good in their bodies, through movement. Pilates, dance, of course, is always going to be a big part of that. Yeah, and then I also got certified in meditation online while I was, in the COVID, we're dabbling into different things. So I started getting more into meditation because it was hard for me to sleep at night. Because evenings are the worst time because my brain is still going. And so meditation really helps with that. So just helping people. The same issues I have.
I didn't even know that you could be certified in meditation because 9 out of 10 times when I try to meditate or I do meditate, I tend to fall asleep. And I'm going, that's working somehow. I'm relaxing, I'm clearing my mind. But yeah, I didn't know that there was that advanced in that industry. Absolutely. Very, very cool.
Yeah, sleep meditations are real. That's the whole point.
Yeah, they are.
You must already be certified, Jolene. You're so good at it. Yeah.
I am so good at it.
All right. Well, it's great. Like, I know your story. Like Jolene said, I've known you for a long time now. I don't even want to think about how long, because that just makes me feel old. But I think it's great to kind of like start off with that and give people an insight into just your heart and your spirit behind why you do what you do. And I love that. I mean, I think it's such a natural progression, what I've seen you go through in the past years. And so I think it's really cool. But let's kind of jump in a little bit. We're going to throw some rapid fire questions at you, things you haven't seen before. So, but not scary. We just kind of want to get what's the first thing that comes to mind. So try to not be an entrepreneur and don't overthink it. Just answer.
Okay.
We all overthink it, but try not to think that way. Just kind of answer the question. So, all right. So first question, what is the best thing about having your own business?
Working when you want to, Yeah. And taking your own vacations, not having to answer to anyone.
Yes.
Love that. What is the hardest thing about having your own business?
Doing the back end work, which has been challenging for me, like all the, emails and all the stuff that I'm not good at. So I've learned from other entrepreneurs to delegate. So
Nice.
Delegate if you have, a bigger business than I do, and you have lots of things to do. Yeah, delegate the things you're not good at.
Awesome. And you kind of already answered this question, but if you want to like sum it up a little bit, who does your business help and how?
Well, my business helps, everyone. But how I help people is I'm creating, core connections for people first through, community and movement. I'm trying to get them to move without pain. So anyone with chronic pain out there, if they're having problems just moving, I help with that. That was my main purpose, is just to really help people connect with their core and, in their body, mind, and soul, and get them to move and efficiently and functionally.
I love that. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Silly. I'm also very nice. That's what people say. I'm very nice.
Love that.
Sometimes too nice. So I've learned to deal with that. I'm very passionate, I think, creative. And I think I'm intuitive, I guess.
Like that.
Oh, I like that one.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Good answer. In what location are you most productive?
What location? Say that one more time.
Yeah. In what location are you most productive?
Ooh. Wow. What? I guess in just the workspace that I'm in. Usually it's with my clients, or in the dance studio or just in my own kind of creative space in terms of like moving. I have to be able to move. Like I can't be in a small room, like feeling, cluttered or anything. It has to be like an open space, like nature is good. I like dancing in nature. It has to be where I can move. It's basically it.
I like that.
It's got to be a big space.
Yeah.
Big space.
Gotcha. And what time of day do you get your best work done?
It's surprisingly, I want to say morning. And there's two kind of spurts of energy in the day, right? You have your after the lunch and things, and you have a burst of energy. At least for most people, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but in the morning, yes, that's morning is when you get a lot of things done, right? A lot of people, our moms, are out there and they have to do things before the kids get up. But like for me, I don't have kids, I have animals, but still, I like my me time before going to work, and that's when I can do things and feel productive. But even at work, I'm productive in the morning when I'm there. But like for example, today, I don't go until like 1 o'clock. In terms of like my regular job, because I have my regular job is right. You have different jobs here. And so you get a burst of energy after the lunch, right? So it's like in the morning and that kind of after midday, after your coffee, before, like before 5, there's like a 2 to 4, like that right there is a good chunk of the energy that I have there. So
I need that energy because 2 to 4 is nap time.
Oh,
I know. I was gonna say the same. After lunch is when I hit my slump, not when I.
So weird, because that's when I'm like, I am productive at that time. I'm like, okay, wanting to like create things, or I'm wanting to like work on social media. If I'm not working, it's so weird.
Hey,
I'm a night owl, so I am up at night. So like that's kind of like my morning, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's fine. And so then one of the things that we're really focusing on, in addition to a few other things, but one of the primary things we're focusing on in this podcast is the concept of community and how that impacts us as humans, but also just as solopreneurs, right? So we're curious, what is your favorite online community and why? And it doesn't have to be a Facebook group necessarily, but if it is, that's fine.
Online community. Like on Facebook, or just
it could
anywhere.
be, but anywhere that you connect online with people, that's your favorite.
I feel like I'm a podcast serial podcaster. So I literally listen to like Growth Day with Brendan Burchard, and I listen to like gosh, you have to see my podcast list. I listen to Ted, and I listen to Jay Shetty and Tom Bilyeu, and who else? So many. Earn Your Happy. I listen to Marie Forleo. Afford Anything. Geez, the Shalene Show sometimes. I'm
it's
like
just the whole podcast world for you.
I'm yeah. So basically, podcast world, but with a lot of more leadership, financial. I'm trying to get more into financial education. So that's why I said, like, for example, Side Hustle Pro is one. And then Afford Anything is another one with Paula Pant. I love her stuff. So I'm just starting to get to, get into that world. But I listen to Marie Forleo a lot, Brendan, Jay Shetty, like those three, like are like always on repeat. Like the thought leaders that are just like encouraging cheerleaders like me, because I am definitely that cheerleader for people. And I feel like that's who they are. Like, in essence, like they want people to win. They want people to be successful just like them. And they want to just continue spreading that, message of like, hey, you can do this, so that's why I think I follow them the most.
That is such a good community to be in too. You're gonna have to add one more podcast to your list,
and of course yours, because you guys are leaders too, and not even just that, you guys are tech savvy, geniuses. So I could not do without your help. So thank you.
So great. I'm a junkie for podcasts too. And it's where I really do spend a lot of my time, is listening to so many. And there's so many great ones out there and you feel like you're just surrounded by so much support. It's so great.
Yeah.
I have a quick question here. So I know that you're not online as much as you used to be. And I know that you've kind of taken a step back.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same thing. So with that being said, how are you creating your business strategy, and you're showing that you are a unique Pilates instructor? And how are you do that? What's the strategy?
Well, at the moment, I'm wanting to get more into retreats, because I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and kind of learn to like travel and give, but be able to provide value for people, but also have fun, and and I know retreats, for the most part, they're not what it all people think. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But at the same time, I think that it would be just like so much more fun to do than not do, because I love traveling. I love food. I love helping people and learning about new cultures. So like, they're all the things that I love to do. So I'm like, well, this makes more sense to kind of dive into that. And whether it's going to be a local retreat, because I'm working on this for next year. It's in the works. So I'm trying to do like more local first, and then hopefully branch out from there. And I have a lot of friends that are already doing it. So that's the good thing, is I'm around, again, the community and friends that have done it. They're in the spiritual kind of realm. I'm not so much, but I want to uniquely create like a space for where we can do Pilates and dance, and a little bit of meditation and reflection. And if that's something you're interested, it's coming in, next year. So your eyes peeled, and hopefully it'll be out by next year. And
I'll be up in your area next year in the fall, so I will make sure to take a peek.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
So just diving into those things, because I do want to provide like the in-person, like you said, like I'm transitioning into the in-person space, because that's where I thrive. That's where I feel most comfortable. And so, I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. So what would you say was your biggest obstacle when you first started your business?
Okay, the biggest obstacle for me was obviously the back end work, which I needed help with. I needed your help with my tech savvy friends. But also just showing up. Like, some days you just don't want to show up, but you you have to. And just showing up consistently was a big thing for me. So I think just showing up, whether you don't feel like it or not, just the marketing for me has been rough too, because it's like I have this battle between like not liking social media and liking it at the same time. It's like a love-hate,
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
Thing. But it's like you can't do your business without it. So
that's
again, so I'm looking into delegating certain things, perhaps, in the future, so that I don't feel like it's such a chore showing up.
Showing up can be tricky, and in my history, there are so many times when I don't want to, and you just but you still show up, you go out there. And for myself, every time I just put on my big girl pants and showed up, it ended up being like the best day ever. So it's one of those things where showing up, as much as it's a struggle, it can be so rewarding. So that's one of the best obstacles, I guess, to have, as long as you overcome it, right?
Right.
So with that being said, I guess that was a great piece of advice. Good obstacle to have, overcome it. But what would you give? What kind of advice would you give people just starting out in in your business, like people just getting their business off the ground and just kind of going for it?
Well, of course, yeah, just showing up. um, and I guess because some of the lessons I've learned is like, when you think something's hard, like you really think something's hard and you can't do it. I think if you have the right people around you that are, one step ahead of you, that can kind of help you out, and you're really open to learning and everything, then, you can do it. And yeah, showing up and just doing the work it is tough. And just doing, that 1%, like I think a lot of entrepreneurs are really tough on themselves, myself included. So just being able to show up, like even just 1%, get the one thing done, that the most important thing done. And Jim Quick, I follow him too. Oh my God, he always says, make the important thing the most important thing in your business. So whatever that important thing to do that week is, make sure you get that done. And and you just have to keep that in mind. Again, 1%, show up, work, don't work too hard. You know what I mean? In terms, like, you do have to work hard in the beginning, especially when you're first starting. I feel like you do have to do like all that groundwork first in order to set it up. And I'm still kind of there at the same time because, with the retreats, because you have to set it up. But in the long run, that it's going to get easier in terms of that. And it's a whole nother set of problems, right? As it goes on. But at least you'll be more equipped and more prepared with like all the tools that you already created, or with the people and team that you created, you brought together. So that's, again, the community part of it. So it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know that there is a lot of expectation, I guess, and assumptions made about the outside world as far as like what it's like to be an entrepreneur, what it's like to be in a specific industry and things like that. So I'm curious, in your industry, what would you say is a common myth about that industry that is just not true?
Oh gosh. A lot of people think like, oh, Pilates is so expensive. But you know what? It's not, because if you really look at it, like so many people have brought down their, since COVID, they brought down their prices. There's ways. Yes, if you want to do one-on-one and privates, of course it's going to be a little pricier because you are getting the one-on-one. You're getting that, that attention and detail that you definitely need. So, you have to invest in that sense if that's really what you want, because a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves, or maybe they do, but they're afraid, in the beginning. Like they're not sure what to expect, and maybe they have all these expectations. But I feel like they will work with you. Like some people will work with you, not all of them, but Pilates is, for the most part, I don't think it's that expensive. That to me, I don't know. Yes, it's a value that you're paying for.
I think you're spot on with that too when you think about it, because you had mentioned that a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves. And I think that there is a fear out there that when you do invest in yourself and you do put any kind of money in towards yourself, there is that little fear of selfishness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this money could help someone else, or I could be putting it towards my family, towards the house, towards, feeding the kids. And so when we invest in ourselves, whether it's in Pilates or something else, there's that fear of I'm being selfish.
Right. Exactly.
Less healthcare and more, luxury is what people start to move into, that kind of, when they start thinking of Pilates. And I think it's really important that people do realize that it is more healthcare and not luxury as much. because in the long run, it's totally worth it. You're right with that.
Yeah. And then another thing is like a lot of people see like, oh, only athletes or dancers do Pilates or, you know, but it's for everybody, or sometimes it's just old people, you know, something.
Yeah.
Everyone can do Pilates and, you know, everybody, because Pilates is for everybody, right?
Right. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Pilates is for everybody. So we are asking all of our guests the same one question here that's quite important to us, and we believe it's important to you too. But we'd like to know, like, looking back on your business and everything that you've come to this point and where you are going in your dreams, how has your community supported you in getting to where you are and where you plan on going?
Well, it's funny because when we first shifted online during COVID, the girls I was teaching in person, they all kind of rented the reformer machines. There's like a group of girls that I teach online, and they rented out the machines. And so another teacher and I presently teach them online, and we've been teaching since COVID. So they kind of were like, no, we're going to do this. So they kind of rallied together and did that and got us to be online because it was the need for them. And so they've been our biggest support, I think, those women. So
I love that.
Our online girls, there's, you know, Yvonne, Stephanie, Joanne.
Shout out!
Yeah. All of the girls that are out there working with us and have been with us since the beginning. So they've been the biggest support, I think, because they've been very flexible. You know, if things change and we have, you know, in-person things and, you know, we change and shift the schedules, they've been more than helpful about like being okay with the changes. And and they always show up, like, or they're very communicative. Like we have a group text going and we're like, oh, we're coming late, or, you know, we, you know, someone's birthdays, everyone's been like so supportive in that. So that has been, I think, the most supportive community I have. So, yeah.
I think that's amazing that your own clientele is your biggest community and support, especially when you're making such a big transitional change from in-person to online to trying to combine the two. That is so great. Just goes to show how good you are.
Yeah, I know they love it. They're always, I wish I can let you guys see into that world all the time, but like they're always like, oh, that was so good, or oh, you know, they're like, oh, that was so hard, or you know, or it was a good stretch, and it's always different. So that's I think that's why I keep them coming back, because I keep the creative juices flowing. I try to do different things, learning from other online teachers too. So I'm constantly learning. I feel like Pilates teachers are always learning. You know, it's never like just anyone in the PT space, anyone in the fitness world. You're constantly learning. You're not just doing your own thing. You're gonna always be learning. Like, and I think that goes to show for entrepreneurs too. You're always learning and growing. I feel like if we stop that, it's like, you know, just in general in life, right? Keep learning.
Keep going.
All right. So kind of on a practical note here at the end, where can our listeners find you online? I know you're not as much like necessarily social media online, but like where, if they wanted to come find you or hire you or start working with you, where can they find you?
Well, you can see here, Janelle Cruz Pilates.com. That's my website. I'm more on IG, so Janelle Cruz Pilates on IG, Instagram. Working to get more onto YouTube space, and you know, it's just Janelle Cruz, I believe, on YouTube, but I'll let you know when we change it up. It should be Janelle Cruz Pilates everywhere. So you can find me at those places. I do have a podcast too that I've kind of taken a step back from, but it's called Inspired Talks podcast, and we interview you know all walks of life, talking about inspiring stories in business, in entertainment. So that's pretty much where you can find me.
Awesome.
That's so great. We'll have all of that in the show notes for everybody. So I love that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I know it's super early your time, so really appreciate you being willing to.
It's not that bad.
Oh, good. For me, that would be a little early to be like on camera and ready to go. But no, it was great to sit down and chat with you and just get some insight into where you've been going with your business lately, because it's been a minute or two since you and I have been able to catch up. So it's great. So
I know. I'm looking
for hopping in.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking
forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolene.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks. Thanks so much for joining us this week on the Success Through Community podcast,
where our goal is to support female solopreneurs through community.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, make sure you check out the show notes for links, transcripts, and so much more.
And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to the podcast.
Ooh, and don't forget to mention us to your community.
And if you can't wait for the next episode, be sure to join us on Patreon,
where our community is made possible by listeners like you. So thank you so much for your support.
Until next time.